welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Vanessa, this is Nessa CX Beauty, and today we're going to be swatching and reviewing the brand new High Tide palette by Colourpop Cosmetics. This is the component right here. She retails for $14 and features 9 shades. This is the color story. This is supposed to be a monochromatic aqua palette, and I think that they hit the color story on the head with this one. This palette does not have a mirror, and today I kind of just want to swatch it, use it on the eyes, maybe compare it against other green eyeshadow palettes that Colourpop already has out, just to see if there are any similar shades. So if you're interested in seeing that, just continue watching. So first off, I did want to start off with swatches, going into Just a Splash, Currents, Free Floatin', Urchin, Must See, Flora, Muscle Beach, New Wave, and last but not least, Lunar. So this is the entire palette swatched out. I did leave some shades for the comparison swatches, so we're gonna get right into that. To start off with the comparisons, I do not think that High Tide looks like the Mandalorian palette at all. So I don't think we need to compare these two. And this is the High Tide next to Just My Luck. There's only one shade in here that I think are comparable, so I think I will swatch that one out. So we're going to go into Chances Are. And we are going to swatch that next to Currents. Okay. So in the pan they look very similar, but next to Currents swatched out, doesn't really look like any of the eyeshadows in the palette, which is awesome. Next up, we have High Tide next to Mint to Be, and we are gonna swatch, I think, 2 of these just to make sure. Going into Ice Cold, putting it next to Urchin. Not similar at all. It kind of looks more like Currents, so I'm gonna also swatch that again next to Currents. Pretty dissimilar. But I also did want to compare it next to New Wave. It's more similar to New Wave than anything, but you can definitely tell the difference. Next up, we're going to get into Get Fresh. And we're going to put that next to Just a Splash. And again, they are not similar at all. I'm pretty confident in saying that the High Tide palette is very different than other green palettes that Colourpop has released. So I think that's enough for me to feel like I am getting something different out of this eyeshadow palette, because none of the shades that look similar are similar, but I feel like this palette will be very complementary to all of the other green palettes that Colourpop has released. But now we're just gonna get into the eye look. So first off, we're gonna head into Currents using my Morphe M513, and we're just gonna place this all over the crease. We're also gonna blend and blow this out just so we can use it as a base for the rest of the shades that we're also gonna be using on the eye. Definitely a pigmented shade, very beautiful. Did have a lot of kickback, and this is a very big theme with all of the mattes in this palette. Next up, we're gonna head into New Wave with my Morphe JS9 brush, and we're just gonna tap this in to the lower portion of our crease, leaving some of Currents so we can see it, but also blending into Currents so there's a seamless blend. This one had a tiny bit more depth, and it was a little bit more pigmented than Currents. However, I wanted more depth, So I went into Lunar with my Morphe JS6 brush, and I put this on our outer V. This freaking shade had the most kickback out of all of the shades in this goddamn palette. So if you do use this, tap off the excess. Do yourself a favor. It's gorgeous. I had to go in with another brush and blend this in because it was just so much product, but you can either take that as a pro or a con. It's a beautiful shade. So I did cut my crease off of camera, and now we're gonna get into the shimmers, going into Muscle Beach with my Anastasia dual-ended brush and adding this on the outer third of the lid. This shade was a nice deep green. I definitely loved it. Very shimmery and very beautiful. Then I headed into Must See with the same brush and put it on the middle of my lid, just so we can make a gradient between all three shimmers in this palette. So, of course, I had to go in with Free Floatin' after that. So this is me heading into Free Floatin', putting it on the inner third of the lid. The gradient with these three is so stunning, so beautiful. I definitely appreciate the shimmers in this palette. And now what we're gonna do is finish up the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and talk about final thoughts. But y'all can already tell I love this palette. We are back. The face is complete, and this is how we are looking right now. I did go into Urchin with my Morphe M507 and put that on the outer half of my lower lash line. And then I did go into Just a Splash with my Morphe M506, and I put that on the inner half of my inner corner. So now we're just going to zoom in so we can see the final look. I must say, I'm a huge fan of this palette. Huge. This is astounding. It's beautiful. It's literally gorgeous. However, we're going to start off with the one flaw that I have from this palette. It's that the cardboard backing is getting very stained by the shadows already. So this is going to get really dirty real quick, especially with the shade Lunar. All of these shades had massive fallout in the pan. Massive fallout in the pan. But the one that takes the prize for fallout, period, is Lunar. Lunar will destroy the entire palette. I tried so hard to make this look presentable, but Lunar was literally everywhere in this corner. But if you can get past that fallout, I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous option if you are in the market for teal, aqua shadows. This is stunning. The shimmers, perfect. They look gorgeous. The mattes, super pigmented, easily blendable, and it's literally $14. I'm obsessed. It might be one of my new favorite eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop. Y'all know I'm all about my Through My Eyes palette, my Blow and Smoke palette, but this one, it's pretty. It's really, really, really pretty. I cannot stop looking at my eyeballs. I think this is really wearable for me and my skin tone. I think it complements me very well. So if you are in the medium skin tone range, this will probably look super dope in contrast with your skin tone. If you are darker, I feel like this will show up on your skin, which is also awesome. It's a versatile palette. I think all skin tones will be able to wear it, and that is a major plus. I adore the High Times palette. That's it. That's all I gotta say to y'all. Get your hands on this. Period. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.